My project was Asteroids. It's kind of an Asteroids clone. I did it in Java, and as you can see, it's not doing so hot, but it is fully functional and it meets the requirements of the module. As you can see, there are objects written on the screen. It makes use of variables, classes, naturally, also like a loop, a while loop. All of those basic um, constructs are used, as well as functions and methods. You can't really make a game like this without them. So they are all there. I will go through all of that, as well as dynamic sizing. So I should be able to add some more asteroids on the screen. I was pressing the A button, which automatically puts more asteroids on the screen. There is no collision detecting, so this is the way I'm going to do it. As well as the X button should start removing all of the asteroids from the screen. So yeah. So dynamic arrays are also there. File in and out is not there, but I do plan on using some file saving, some scoring systems. So that stretch requirement is not fulfilled. I also used for my error, my whatchamacallit, my event handling, my key events, as well as my, you can see here, down on here, I have my debugging info. Um, my asteroids have been created, although I forgot I put an index to count how many asteroids are on the screen, but it's not the actual amount of, yeah, there's no accurate indexing system there. But I also have window events. As you can see, window moved is an event. It'll do window resized. If I go here, it even displays some of the information. That was for me. I was having a hard time keeping track of the window size. I could even do it full screen, and as you can see, there was a bit of white space there, and it automatically filled. Sometimes that actually is, I need to get a better system for it, but my screen dimensions for my wrapping are automatically handled. So as you can see, the same kind of scale is used, but now the screen is this big. So there's a lot there that I'm really proud of, and I just wanted to show you guys. First off, I wanted to start off my video, going over that. So let me close out of this. Okay, so second thing I had on my to-do list I have another screen on the right over here. I have a to-do list. So it says start off in program, and the second part is describe the purpose of the program using the program as visual aid. Obviously, it's a game, and so the details are, these are my next steps. The details are, here are the components of the project. That's the file explorer. These are the packages. They're all expanded. All the ones that are kind of important. All the ones that are important are expanded. This one, the asteroids.objects.asteroid, it's not gonna get confusing. If it does get too confusing, and if people think I should, I'll rename this to rock and rock large. So it's not conflicting with the name asteroids. But so far, it seems to have no conflict with the capital asteroids. That is the name of the game, and then capital asteroid is the name of the class for the rock. All right. So kind of going through, my driver handles the game loop and the game instance, and and the main class, and the main function method, static void main, however it is in Java. Main is called here in driver. In asteroids, my game class is defined. I have a bunch of imported libraries, but they're all beautiful and I love them all. They are my children. Public asteroids, the constructor. Definitely not the cleanest thing. Right now, I really want to put this in a different function, but I'm not wanting my program to break, so I'm doing this video first. So, so I have asteroids, the game, defined here, which is set up and instantiated here in driver, and then called as a loop. So I can show you the loop right now. Game loop, it's very simple. While is running tick, right? And in tick, I'm calling update. So tick, I do not want to keep it this way, but for now, for sake of functionality, for sake of having a program to be able to present in 2 weeks' time, learning Java, which I've learned so much, I have used this code from this site. So this game loop is not mine. I also believe that there is a better way of doing it. I saw some other asteroids programs or other programs in general that used loops, using threading and using more legit techniques, using Java libraries. So this is very basic stuff, and I actually think it's the one they use in Minecraft. So I don't even want to try to start doing all that stuff, but I am a big fan of Minecraft. Don't get me wrong. And so I think it's kind of funny that I made a game with the loop from Minecraft. I don't even know, it probably isn't, but I think it's just funny. But I will change it to something more legitimate. But here is just my tick information. This provides a once per 1/60th of a second frame refresh. So yeah, so 60 FPS is the number. I can change it if I want to. It is definitely not rendering at 60 FPS. Yeah, it's my baby, but it needs some upgrading. But yeah, that's the whole driver. I can close out of that. I have a background object as a JPanel. I will implement this. I just haven't yet. But it's there. It's defined. I have some to-dos for the future. I actually kind of want to kind of pull this to-do over real quick just to explain. Okay, so my future to-dos are implement the different game loop code using Java's threading library, like I said. Also use a more sophisticated held keys system. I saw another whole system where it used a lot better of a system than I do right now. I'm going to put this to-do list back over here. And yeah, I can show you right now where my implements keyword is. There's my stretch requirement right there. So within my asteroids game, I will go through all of this in a second, but here is my event handling, my key event handling specifically. It's all defined here in this class, right? When you define private class, name of the class that you desire, implements key listener, you have to override some functions, and they are called public void key typed, key pressed, and key released. There is another library that has a class that's ready to be implemented. I think it's a key list or key event listener or something like that, which is a lot more sophisticated than this, and it makes a lot more sense. It probably runs a lot faster as well. So the basic part of it is has to override public void key types. I actually do nothing there. It's just there to be overridden. Key pressed I actually use every time a key is pressed. The event is described in E, so this will be called every time a key is pressed. Switch e.getKeyCode. Basically, this tells what is the event key code, and you can tell, like, you can kind of see, like, you can kind of run different events based off of the key event. You can see if the getKeyCode e.getKeyCode is equal to getKeyEvent dot up. This is the up arrow key, right? So it's not very user friendly. It's not very reader friendly, but you can see this is I have some things that I need to do in ship, as in accelerate. Ship.up key held equals true. Ship.left key held equals true. This will rotate the ship left, rotate the ship right. You get it. This breaks the program. Just ignore that. But I did try to see if I can press Q to quit the game, and I just press Q for some reason. X will remove an asteroid, like I had demonstrated before. If I press the key X, it'll remove an asteroid. A will add an asteroid. It's looking very beautiful. Not much to it. This just removes it at index 0 because, where else would you do a random removal? Afterwards, I will do some error handling or event handling for, where did I put that? It was right above this. Handle collisions. As you can see, there's nothing there yet because I don't have any collision detection yet, but that will not be a very hard thing to implement. That'll be in the near future. What else is there? I have a few different drawing. I can demonstrate this for you right now. I don't know if I demonstrated for the whole export process, but when you have a Java project, there are a lot of Java extensions that you can download. If you go to a place, I have a link in the README. I'll put it down in the description of the YouTube video as well. I have downloaded the starter pack for Java in VS Code. A lot of people prefer Eclipse, but I like VS Code just because of the keyboard shortcuts. You know, you can like switch lines just like that. You can kind of put things back where they were. You know, I personally prefer all of that. So I'm using this in VS Code, but use Eclipse if you really want to just focus on Java. You can press that export jar button, and it automatically kind of sets things up to be exported. And then from then on, it doesn't work before this, but you can do Command-Shift-P, Java export jar, and it'll go through the same process. You have to click driver, which is where the main function is, and then it'll give you a message, successfully exported jar. If you have any errors, it'll say, we don't like you, and it'll automatically go to this problems window, and I'm hiding all these 20 warnings because, yeah, Java is very particular, and it wants me to format things a specific way, but I am working on it. Anyway, I will run this, and I'll demonstrate this L case, and also the space case. All right, as you can see, L changes what the, how the ship is drawn. These are the different things I tried. And I personally kept this because I think it's hilarious because you enter the matrix. I mean, look at that. That's actually kind of really cool to look at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, the graphics are really suffering in this game, but they're kind of interesting. I kind of like it. Yeah. Anyway, matrix is broken, and let me go back to the regular. Here we go. That actually worked. I pressed L, and now my ship is back to normal, technically. Obviously, the background for some reason suffers a lot, but you can see that a bullet was drawn on the screen. You can see that bullet right there. And the background goes back to normal when the bullet goes away. So if I just do that, you can see kind of it just spams the bottom corner, and it also wraps, so they'll show up like right there. So bullets are drawn on the screen. They are also handled in a dynamic list. So I should go up there now. Actually, so key release, all it does is reset these up key held, left key held, right key held, and ship to false. This is my system right now for held keys. There's a better system for it that I saw, and I will implement it. But for now, this is for my functioning program. So I hope you like it. Okay, gonna run through all the last parts of the game because the rest of them are just objects oriented, and the game logic was kind of the most complicated part to explain, just because it looks so crazy. So here are my game objects. Getting into that now. I set them as private, set them as their object name. Ship is defined here. So ship, yeah, okay, public class ship extends flying objects. Flying object is defined here. All of the attributes, there are a lot of different attributes and a lot of, yeah, interesting things about it, but it'll look better. As well as laser, it also extends flying object, as well as asteroid, which extends flying object. This one is extending asteroid, and asteroid really doesn't have very much. It has some things related to being an asteroid itself. Sets name, sets wrap equals to true, sets location to a random location, unless I will provide a separate constructor for a specific location and initial velocity so that I can break apart the rocks when I need to. And that'll be all fine and dandy. For now, we need to be functional and work and not break. I do have a lot of bugs to fix before I start building more to this program. Dynamic lists in Java are handled by saying list of asteroid type equals new array list, empty bracket, function call. It's very funky to me, but it's kind of cool looking. But this is how a dynamic list is created in asteroids. It's very easy to use, very interesting to see declared, but I use one for asteroids as well as lasers. Asteroids, the constructor, all I have is announce that it's being constructed just for me. Set up JFrame. Yeah, I had this originally in driver, and I'm also kind of leaving it here in the asteroids constructor since it extends the JFrame. My whole game is a JFrame. I am open to suggestions. I am now seeing that this is bringing me lots of problems, but since it works, I will keep it this way. I will definitely change a lot of things. So this video is serving both as demonstrating how this function or program works, as well as I need suggestions and I need directions, as well as, as to where to take this program in the future, because I do plan on doing this. I don't think I will do this for many other sprints, but I do really enjoy programming in Java, seeing all the very manual yet readable computer components. All the, not the computer components, but the mechanics of game design. I really am enjoying seeing all of it. Obviously, this is just setting up event handling, that window size change listener, and my key listener classes that I made. They have to be added to the J panel. So that has been done here. I don't see any problems with how it is being done. I don't really know what this means, but I was told to put it there. So I am aware that it's there, and I'm not forgetting that it's there, as well as all of these, but these are pretty straightforward. This is setting the title of the window itself. These I'm figuring out which one I need to keep and scrap. I'm keeping both of them for now because they seem to not conflict with each other. This is just basic. Every JFrame needs to have this. It'll yell at me in VS Code. It's kind of funny, but I hid the warning. A lot of people set resizable to false, but I set it to true and I handled it. Set location relative to null. This is just where it appears on the screen. I don't even dare to try to figure out how this is supposed to work other than null. This is also here. I don't really know what it is. Set visible equals to true. It will not be showing up unless it is set visible, right? All fine and dandy. That constructor is explained. Update, all it does is, if debug, it'll print out some information saying, oh, game.update has been called. And it'll also, just for my sanity, if the game is starting to freeze and stuff, the terminal won't freeze unless the loop isn't actually being called. So this kind of lets me know that this number will be very fluctuating if debug is set to true. I've set it to false for now. So yeah, that's not where we're going to paint that. I update all the game objects, update the ship position and all its components, as well as each asteroid and each laser. It's very readable, I think, right there. Some of my event handling, I should write that there. Event handling. And refresh screen. I need to figure out how this works, but from what I understand, paint is not called unless repaint and revalidate are called there. I think if I delete them, nothing will happen. If I delete one, nothing will happen. But if I delete both, I found that nothing gets painted, and you see nothing on the screen basically, or probably just the first image. Since if I put override, nothing will happen because this is being overridden. This is an overridden function. This is defined in JPanel. It is called by the JPanel in the loop when I put repaint and revalidate on there in my update function, which is called once per frame. And so yeah, this is also very straightforward. It paints all the asteroids, the lasers, and the ship once every time on the screen. I have to pass a reference to the graphics object. I believe that this is considered a buffer, and I need to figure out a way to double buffer, because double buffering is a big thing in gaming. I will figure that out someday, but as you can see, I am struggling to keep a functioning program as it is, and I have broken my program several times, and it took me many hours to fix. So this is just how it works. Each component, each flying object is a J component. It was a J component. It works the same as JPanel. It's kind of heavy. I'm actually amazed that that's working. Maybe I should change that to J component, but for the sake of the video, I will not do that right now. It is functioning. Here are some debugging. This will say game.paint is called. This is drawing the background. I will add some comments as I'm going there, as I'm seeing that I'm missing some. Draw background. Pretty straightforward. It makes a rectangle of the size background, and then background, that pink component, this is actually, it's not functioning. If I comment that out, nothing will happen because it wasn't really doing anything. So this is just a manual way of saying, make a rectangle at the back of the screen size and just fill it with the right color, right? I believe I have to do graphics dot set color background dot color background color. Right, so that'll work because I have that defined in my background class. I believe it's here, right? Public static color background color equals color.black. So it'll set the background to black. It was doing that before because I believe it does it here in my background, but it's being pretty glitchy. Hopefully this will fix some temporary strangeness. I believe, every time laser is called, it draws a background as white, as the same color as the laser. So I believe that's where that bug was happening. So it'll set the color to white, and then it just doesn't set the color back to black again. So we got that out of the way. We got that fixed. Then draw each game object. Pretty straightforward. Here's some helper methods in the initializer function, or in the constructor. I have asteroid belt 5 called. So it makes 5 asteroids and puts them on the screen. It's as functional as I need it to be right now. I can add some functionality later. Clear terminal window is actually pretty nice because it'll clear the window. I'll demonstrate that real quick. Where debug equals true, it'll be called. So in update, if debug, clear terminal window will be called. So right now you can see everything's just being printed out onto the console. If I recompile my program, I'll open it up. And you can see that all the original stuff is cleared, and there's just only the information that happens once frame on the screen, and it's pretty nice. It does glitch out a little bit, but that's not all the time. Yep, that problem wasn't solved. I believe there's something more sophisticated going over my head. Yeah, so yeah, everything I need to be displayed on the screen, as in each debug from each object, which I enable disable by putting a debug equals true or false in the constructor, or if I just set it, it's automatically set to false in flying objects. So if I just don't set it, it'll be false. It won't do anything. So if I want something on the screen, I'll enable debug on asteroids, and I'll see only the information I want, and it'll be easier for me to read. So that's what this clear terminal window does. As you can see, it just does print clear window, and then a system without flush, whatever. It's Java's way of handling clearing a window. Here's my handle event section. I can handle my collisions, remove all the dead game objects. As you can see, if all the objects are not alive, then I will remove them from their respective lists. Ship, I will do some extra functionality when I have a more functional program to change game states. And key events, as you can see, I already went through those. And key release, just set some specific things to false. I do want to put a more sophisticated held keys system in there, more of like a map, or a map, like a list that handles pairs, so key false, key true, like have a more sophisticated system for that. My window resizing event, another one, and that's it for asteroids. Background.java should someday handle the background canvas, should be the canvas. All the components are defined in these subclasses: asteroid large, asteroid, flying object as an abstract for all of these subclasses, laser. They all just have information as to what you want them to do, initial velocity, initial points. In this case, lasers should always be at the point of ship. And in ship, I actually have a helper method called fire, where it returns a new laser at the ship's point with the ship's velocity and rotation as information, so that laser is fired technically in the constructor. Sets the initial velocity and location as the ship point, and sets the initial death timer, so it expires after 140 frames. Actually, 140 divided by 3. That's a little bit of a complicated story, but anyway, that is the code. this is the program, and I love it. It's really fun. I really want it to not be as glitchy as it is, but I do enjoy just kind of playing around with it. I do love the matrix mode. So it's my baby. I do need a lot of help, and I will be researching a lot more about how double buffering works. And I am glad that I now know that that exists, because I understand a lot more about how graphics works on a computer. But I hope you like this program. I'm glad it ran correctly for you guys this time. It took a long time to get it to work this way. As you can see, it is late. It was supposed to be due last night at midnight, but it is now Sunday at 2 o'clock. I am actually in church clothes, but I needed to get this out. Better late than never. I did submit the assignment saying that it was all done. It was all done except for the video. Because the program, it was acting up and I couldn't know how to fix it, so I couldn't make a video that way. But hopefully that's forgiven, and I will receive the credit where credit is due. But I'm glad you guys stayed this long for the video. I'm impressed that you guys watched such a long video, and I hope you guys really enjoy your day, and hopefully, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.